So I assume that this is probably a fairly common failure. Welcome back to Shop Don't Stop. Today we have an issue going on with our garage door. I've worked on my personal garage a few times on the channel, built some shelves and kind of organized the space. And Shrikar and I actually installed a MyQ kind of digital system so we could check the status of our garage, if it's up or down, kind of open or closed, and actually navigate that ourselves. But the issue here today is right behind me. Let me show you what's going on. So normally, your garage door has, the garage door, the rails, the springs, and it has a mechanism that attaches to that rail system, and it's either chain or rubber gear drive, and it kind of just spins around and opens and closes the garage door. Well, last night I got a text from my wife saying that the garage door wouldn't open. She thought that the battery in her transponder had died. She even opened up that MyQ app that we had installed, and that wouldn't open the garage. She tried putting in the code on the keypad. Ultimately, she parked on the slab next door. But when I came home a little bit later, couldn't get the garage door open myself. But I noticed when I walked around and went to the kind of human, normal-sized door and looked through the window there, I could see that the garage light was on from the actual garage opener, but there is nothing happening with the motor. Well, I should say, nothing happening with the garage door connected to the motor. Let me show you what failed. So I assume that this is probably a fairly common failure, but this is just a very kind of small bracket here that with some self-tappers just mounts straight to this very thin gauged door. And so what happened is there's probably a little misalignment of this garage door, and that stress allowed these self-tappers to rip out. So what I did is I went to Lowe's. I'll show you kind of what I purchased, but it's basically a garage door opener support bracket, which stabilizes this and distributes the load across this whole top panel and kind of reinforces it so you don't have tear out. I'll actually grab it and show you. In general, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be mounting this metal bracket, kind of expensive for what it is. It's like 30 bucks, but basically reinforces this and allows us to fix this at home. So if you're having this issue or something similar, or just want to reinforce it before you get tear out like that, pick this up. I'll link what I got at Lowe's and one on Amazon for you guys. Let's get into kind of mocking this up and installing it. This particular one does come with some hardware to install it, or at least to sort of mount it up. These are just bolts and pins to connect these two pieces because this is adjustable 18 to 22 inches or 24 inches, I believe. While I was at Lowe's, just went down the hardware aisle and picked up some metal screws. Some people say you should use self-tappers on these garage doors. I actually found the self-tapper screws that ripped out, and they're still in good condition, so I could use those, but I got new metal screws. I might pre-drill a little bit smaller than those metal screws, and I also got some washers, again, to distribute that force and kind of help against tear out. Let's actually go and get this drills and get going on the install. The main goal of this project is actually to get this garage door fixed so I can get the E36 M3 out, because the wife and I are going to the re-release, the 25th anniversary release of Fast and Furious.
I removed the two bolts that hold the hinge to that upper section and then ran those through the bracket to hold it in place. Using a level, I found my center, and then I attached the top bolts, cinching the bracket to that top section of garage door.
That's absolutely locked in. Let's go. Here is the garage door opener support bracket. We've got 3 across the top. You can see the old torn out hole there, even down below. Didn't really line up, so that's why we're using kind of a side-by-side with that. But then we have one kind of mid section, and then we integrated the bottom two with that hinge. I'm going to confirm that bracket does not cross the hinge, and it doesn't. We can see that there. See that from the bottom as well. It does not cross that hinge. It's good. And then just from the side, you can see that since it's an adjustable piece, that this kind of outer section sits fairly flush, and then because it's two pieces, kind of gives a little leeway to go over top of that hinge bracket. Looks pretty good, and I mean, this is ridiculously sturdy. This is way more sturdy than anything I could imagine. So let's adjust the actual bracket height. We'll adjust this piece. Right now it's actually a little bit high, so we're just going to move down these mounting holes so this bracket lines up better with the actual garage door, and then we'll calibrate it so it opens and closes the right distance. So this bracket just got lowered down just a touch. Now it's pretty square. Let's go open this thing up. As far as overall alignment goes, I think it's pretty well aligned. This is not contacting the door itself. Let's see how it is on the way down. It's a little gentle. I think it could come down a little bit more. Thanks for watching this short Shop Don't Stop video. I think that last clip that I showed where the rails and the whole kind of garage rack, I think there's poor alignment of the garage door on those rails, probably from sinking of the concrete and just maybe poor alignment on install that contributed to those self-tappers actually pulling out of the garage door. So I think that is your root cause fix if you're having that malalignment like I am. I'm probably not gonna fix this. I'm probably just gonna let that bracket do the work. But again, thanks for watching. I've linked the products that we use down below. Now, I'm gonna go take that E36 out with my wife to go see that 25th anniversary Fast and Furious release in the movies. Let's go. Remember, shop don't stop.